Listen up, because what's going down at Hollis Hall right now has the whole organization moving in silence. First off, there's a veteran running back that could be on Ryan Poles' radar before the trade window closes. And believe me when I say this, if this move happens, it could flip our offense upside down in the best way possible. Second, the front office just made a call involving a Super Bowl champ, and everyone's scratching their heads wondering what the hell is going on with our defensive line. And third, we've got 3 offensive weapons that are being criminally underused. And once we finally unleash them, this offense is gonna blow up. But here's the real question we should all be asking. Is Poles cooking up something big? Or are we just watching a series of desperate moves? Stick around till the end because we're breaking down every move, every implication, and what it all means for our future. And if you want to keep up with every bomb that drops on the Bears this week, hit that subscribe button right now because trust me, this week is just getting started. Ryan Poles is going to have Alvin Kamara running out at Soldier Field this Sunday. And I'll say this, if that man isn't taking mental notes all game long, then he's not doing the job. Look, D'Andre Swift had one dominant game against Washington, averaging 7.7 yards a carry, and we're all celebrating like we just struck gold. But let's be real, over the previous 2 games, Swift averaged 0.6 yards per carry. 2.6, that's unacceptable for a back, making the kind of money he's pulling in now. I'm not gonna lie, Swift's got talent, but the consistency just isn't there. And when you've got a rookie quarterback like Caleb Williams trying to develop, you need a running game you can count on every single week, not just when everything magically lines up. So, tell me this, can we really build a playoff caliber offense around a back who disappears to out of every 3 games? Now let's talk Alvin Kamara. Yeah, he's 30 years old. His numbers are down this year, but listen closely, the Saints have the worst run block win rate in the entire league, dead last. Meanwhile, we've got the 3rd best. Think about that for a sec. Kamara is running behind a line that can open holes, and he's still flashing the skill that made him elite in the first place. I'm telling you right now, if you bring Kamara to Chicago and line him up behind our O-line, with Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, and the boys paving the way, that man's career could be reborn. We're talking about a back who can still make multiple defenders look silly, catch passes out of the backfield, and deliver when the pressure's on. And the best part, he probably wouldn't cost us much. We could trade Swift for Kamara and toss in a late day 3 pick. That's nothing compared to what we could gain. So I gotta ask, would you give up a 7th round pick for a proven back who can help push us into the playoffs? I'd say yes. Let's be real, this season isn't about winning the Super Bowl. This season's about developing Caleb Williams and proving he's our franchise quarterback. Any move that helps his progression is totally justified, and having a reliable run game is absolutely crucial for a rookie QB's development. Sure, Kamara isn't a long-term fix, but he's the perfect short-term patch while we look for our bell cow back in next year's draft. And if Poles is serious about making a move before the November 4th trade deadline, then he better be watching every single snap Kamara takes this Sunday. But let me throw this back at you. Would you rather keep Swift and hope he figures it out, or pull the trigger on Kamara and lock in a steadier run game for the rest of the season? If that surprised you, hold on, because what just happened with Tanoh Kpassagnon has bigger implications than it looks at first glance. On Friday, the Bears released the defensive lineman, a Super Bowl 50 for champ with the Chiefs, who was brought in specifically to boost our pass rush. So tell me, why cut a championship vet right as we're starting to win games? Here's the context. Kpassagnon was signed in July, cut after training camp, re-signed to the practice squad, elevated for Week 1 against Minnesota, and then added to the 53-man roster on September 20th. In 4 games, he logged 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 QB hits. Not spectacular, sure, but far from awful for a rotational piece. So what's going on here? I'll tell you, this move clearly signals that Austin Booker is ready to come back. Booker, our 2nd round pick from last year, has been rehabbing a knee injury since training camp and hasn't played a single snap this season. But if they're cutting Kpassagnon now, it means they're confident Booker's good to go. Now, that's great news. On one hand, Booker's 23 years old, overflowing with potential, and we need to see what we've got in him. But here's my concern, are they rushing him back? A knee injury is nothing to mess with, especially for a D lineman who relies on explosion off the line. So let me ask, does it make sense to risk bringing Booker back to early just to cut a veteran who knows the system? Because if Booker's not 100% and re-injures that knee, We just weaken our D-line rotation for no reason. And now let's talk about what this means for our pass rush. Right now, we're sitting middle of the league with 14 sacks across 6 games. That's the 0.3 per game, which is mediocre. Not terrible, but not where you want to be if you're trying to hang with elite playoff offenses. I'll say it straight, we need Booker to make an instant impact. We can't sit around waiting for him to find his rhythm or adjust to NFL speed. If he's on the active roster, he's got to produce. Otherwise, cutting Pasignan was a waste. And here's another detail that bothers me. Dennis Allen, our defensive coordinator, worked with Pasignan in New Orleans from 2021 through 2024. He knows the guy, knows what he brings, and still decided to let him go. That tells me either Booker's truly ready to roll, or there's something else going on behind the curtain. So here's my question for you all. Can Booker really be the pass rusher we've been missing? Or did we just screw up by cutting a proven veteran? Now here's where things get really wild, and this part's been driving me nuts all week. We've got 3 offensive weapons that are being criminally underused. And once we finally unleash them, this offense is gonna go off. I'm talking Luther Burden 3, our tight ends, and especially DJ Moore. And until we fix this, we're never going to reach our full offensive potential. Let's start with Luther Burden 3. The rookie's caught 11 of 12 passes thrown his way. That's a catch percentage of 91.7%, the best among all rookie wideouts in the league. His passer rating when targeted, 146.5, the best in the entire NFL, and yet, he's only being targeted to point to times per game, 2.2. Now tell me, how the hell do you have a receiver catching damn near everything thrown at them and still only give them 12 targets in 6 games? Meanwhile, Olamide Zakos has been targeted 28 times and is averaging just 8.9 yards per catch, the only receiver on the roster averaging under 10. Burden needs more snaps. Plain and simple. Yeah, both he and Zakos play the slot, but Burden's producing at an elite level. We've got to find ways to get them both on the field or just give Burden more looks. Period. Now, let's move to our tight ends. Running 12 personnel to tight ends was supposed to be a core piece of Ben Johnson's offense. Yet, we've only thrown 27 passes to TEs. Only one team in the whole league has thrown fewer. That's ridiculous. Cole Kmet's being used in some strange ways. He's averaging 10.9 air yards per target, second highest among tight ends in the NFL. But Kmet's an inline guy who should be working those short routes over the middle, not running deep ones like a wide out. And Colson Loveland's finally healthy after fighting through injuries. He's only been targeted 9 times, but he's made plays when given the chance. We've got to get him more involved now that he's 100% ready. Here's the bottom line: if we're not using our tight ends right, then we're not running Ben Johnson's offense the way it's meant to be run. So seriously, why bring Johnson in if we're gonna ignore one of his core concepts? And now the big one, the thing that's keeping me up at night: DJ Moore. The guy's our highest paid offensive player, and he's being targeted less than Rome Odunze and Olamide Zakos. Moore's only been targeted 26 times, while Odunze has 40 and Zakos 28. Moore's averaging just 8.7 yards in target depth. That ranks 87th among all receivers. Basically, we're using him the same way Shane Waldron did last year, and we all saw how that went. Here's the issue: Moore never built that same trust and rhythm with Caleb Williams that he had with Justin Fields. With Fields, Moore was the go-to guy. Fields would just throw it his way knowing Moore would make the play, even when it didn't look open. With Williams, that chemistry's there. With Odunze, great. Love to see it, but Moore needs to be the top option. He's got to be the first read, and that's not happening right now. Once we get that Moore-Williams chemistry going once and for all, once Moore's getting looks at least as often as Odunze, this offense is gonna explode. Everything else will open up: deep shots, screens, the run game, and all clicks once defenses have to respect Moore as the true number 1 threat he is. So what do you think? Is it on Williams for not looking Moore's way? Or is it on Johnson for not scheming to get him open? Here's my final take: we've got all the pieces to be an elite offense. The quarterback, the receivers, the line, the play caller, all of it. But until we start using every weapon the way we should, we're just gonna keep being that hit or miss offense that has one big game followed by 2 duds. Let's run it back: Kamara, Booker, and underuse. 3 stories that could define the rest of our season. Because trust me, there's more Big Bears news coming tomorrow, and you do not want to miss what's next for Chicago. This organization's moving, and every call made in the next 2 weeks is going to decide whether we're true contenders. Or just another team that came up short? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Poles make the move for Kamara? Are you confident Booker can be the pass rusher we need? And which of those 3 offensive weapons do we need to unleash first burden, the tight ends, or more? And listen up, if you think Poles should go all in before the trade deadline, smash that like button. If you think we should stay put and trust what we've got, hit subscribe, because this community's a family. And we need everyone all in on these talks. Every day we bring deep analysis, raw opinions, and the latest on our Chicago Bears. We're not just another highlight channel, we're the voice of fans who bleed navy and orange. So if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button right now. Bear down, Chicago. See y'all in the next video with more exclusive Bears news. This is our season, this is our moment, and we're living it together.